Hi, this is Shannon. This is Cycle 1, Week 20, Tutor and Memory Work Ideas. I am excited to share with you some tutor ideas, and also you can use these ideas at home with your kids to practice the memory work throughout the week. Also, make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I have some more fun games and activities you can play with your kids to help them practice the memory work. So I will explain how to find those at the end of this video. Also, if you are new to my channel, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones, 5, 3, and 1. And we do classical homeschooling and absolutely love it. And I have the privilege of tutoring the obesitarians this year. So that's the little guys, the 4 through, I have some 7-year-olds in my class too. So these ideas are with them in mind, but you can definitely use them for older kids and adjust some of them too. So I hope these are helpful. We are going to start with English this week. So for English, we are doing the definition of a linking verb. So we have been doing helping verbs, and now we are switching to linking verbs. I wrote the definition out in this notebook. So I've shared before in my other videos, I have a preschool lined paper notebook for each kid in my group. I like them to have some writing practice each week. So I wrote the whole definition out and left a blank where they can write the word linking verb. So you can definitely adjust this to the level of the kids in your group. That's one of the reasons I really like doing this. You could write linking verb in dots and let your kids trace it if they're a little bit younger. You could write the word linking verb and have them write the definition themselves if they're a little bit older. So different ways you can adjust this. You can personalize it to each child if you have some older kids, some younger kids. So a linking verb makes an assertion by joining 2 words. So I will have these notebooks out on the table for the kids. I decorate the front of them with their name and a biology design. This is not an actual name of a kid in my class. It's just an example. I will give them a chance to write out linking verb, and I'll walk around and help them as they need. And then we are going to learn a new song to the tune Ants Go Marching. And I will sing it for the kids and have them try to sing it along with me a few times. So it goes like this. A linking verb makes an assertion by joining 2 words. A linking verb makes an assertion by joining 2 words. And then it keeps going, so you could stop there or you could sing the entire song for the kids just to introduce it. So I'll sing the entire song so you can hear it, but again, we're just doing the definition this week. A linking verb makes an assertion by joining 2 words. A linking verb makes an assertion by joining 2 words. Feel, become, remain, taste, seem, appear, look, sound, stay, smell, grow. These are the linking verbs. So again, you can sing the whole song for them. It is week 20 and then week 22, week 23, and 24. We're going to do a different song for week 21, or you can just stop at the definition of a linking verb. So I'll have the kids stand up and try to sing that song with me a few times, and then I will give them a sticker to put on the front of their notebook. I like to do this each week, and then by the end of the semester, they'll have a lot of stickers on their notebook, and then they can take it home. Also for English, I like to go through the whole preposition song that we did first semester with the kids and the hand motions. We're going to do this each week until the end of the year because we're going to present it to the parents at our end of the year ceremony. So I will link my video down below if you need a refresher. I sing the whole song with the hand motions, and I do it slowed down so you can see the hand motions clearly. So I'll link that below if you want a refresher. For timeline this week, I have timeline cards with my Dollar Tree letters taped on each one. I like to put these letters on each one just because I have the younger kids and some of them can't read yet. So I put whatever letter the term starts with on each card. I get these from the Dollar Tree. I've always seen them there. So they're really handy. And then I get these timeline cards from the Classical Conversations bookstore, or they also have them on Amazon sometimes. So for timeline this week, I am going to have the timeline cards hidden around the room before our class time begins. And so when we're ready to do timeline, I'm going to say to the kids, okay, go find one timeline card and bring it back to your seat as soon as you find it. Now I have a pretty big group this year, so I've had to pair off kids and have them work together to find a timeline card, Or if you have a small group, you could have them find 2 timeline cards and bring them back to the table. So once all the timeline cards are found, I'm going to actually have us sit in a circle on the floor, and we're going to spread the timeline cards out on the floor so we can see them all. So they're going to be face up in the middle of our circle. And then we're going to go over each event in order and go over the hand motion for that event. For example, we'll start with Australia becomes a Commonwealth. So I'll say Australia becomes a Commonwealth. What letter does Australia start with? A, let's find that card. Ooh, we found it. Awesome. Okay, now let's all do the hand motion for it. So for Australia, we're going to put our middle finger and our thumb together, and we're going to jump like a kangaroo. So Australia becomes a Commonwealth. And then we'll do the next one, Mexican Revolution. What does that start with? M. Ooh, there it is, Mexican Revolution. So for Mexican Revolution, I'm going to make an M by putting 3 fingers over my thumb and then just brushing my mustache like that. Mexican, and then Revolution, we're going to make 2 R's, touch them, and then go around, touch them again. Mexican Revolution. So we'll do that for each card. Once we've gone through each card, then I'm going to tell them all to close their eyes, and I'm going to turn one of the cards over. So I'll have all of them face up except one card I'll turn face over, and then I'll have them open their eyes and see if they can figure out what card is face down, what event it is. And then once we figure it out, we'll all go over that hand motion together. Then I'll have them close their eyes again, and we'll do it again. And what I'll probably do is whatever kid guessed correctly the first time, I'll let them be the one to pick the card to turn over the next time. And I'll just make sure everybody gets a turn to do that. Then after we do that, I'll have them stand up and we'll sing the whole song together while trying the hand motions for each event. So for the motions this week, I did Australia already, but I'll do it again. So Australia becomes a Commonwealth. We put our middle finger and thumb together and hop like a kangaroo twice. So Australia becomes a Commonwealth. And then Mexican Revolution, I'm going to put my thumb under my 3 fingers and just kind of wipe my mustache. So Mexican and make 2 R's, touch them and go around. So Mexican Revolution. And then World War I, so I'm going to do World War I, so WW1. World War I and President Wilson. So I'm going to touch the outside of my eyes and go in like that, President Wilson. And then, so Lenin and the Bolshevik Revolution, so L. And then for Revolution, we're going to make our R's again, touch, go around for Revolution. And then in Russia, we're just going to put our hands on our hips and kind of see like that. So Lenin and the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. U.S. evangelist. So we're going to touch our mouth and go out because he was an evangelist. U.S. evangelist. B for Billy, Billy. And then G for Graham, Graham. So U.S. evangelist, Billy Graham. And then we've got modern period of the arts. And we go straight down. Modern period of the arts, we're going to just kind of move our hands around like that for arts. And then the Great Depression, we're going to move our hands down for Great Depression, and then New Deal. So those are emotions. We'll sing this week's part of the timeline song together while trying those. And that is timeline this week. For geography this week, I have this map of Canada. So I have this map linked in my blog post, and I will link it below. I have a blog post, if you didn't know, with all these ideas written out and links I refer to. So you can go to the geography section and find this map. I just wanted a bigger map of Canada than the whole world map. I outlined each of our places. So we have Ontario in orange, Quebec in red, New Brunswick in turquoise, and then Nova Scotia in purple. So I will have these already outlined for the kids. I put these maps in these dry erase sleeves so the kids can draw with dry erase marker on them. And then what I'm going to have the kids do is we're going to go over each one and we're going to talk about what letter each place starts with, and they're going to write that letter. So for Ontario, they're going to write an O inside Ontario. Quebec, they're going to write a Q. For New Brunswick, we're going to do the Brunswick, so B, and then Nova Scotia, we're going to write an N. So I'll have them do that with me. And then I'm going to teach them a song to the tune Home on the Range. And I'll have them try to point to each place as we sing that place in our song. So it goes like this. Dominion of Canada, Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Dominion of Canada. So we'll sing that a few times, and then what I'll do is I'll be like, okay, let's find Ontario. Where was that one? Okay, let's erase the O from Ontario. So we'll all erase that. Then now let's find Quebec, right? Let's erase the Q from Quebec. Now let's find Nova Scotia. Now let's find New Brunswick. So we'll erase all our letters, and then I'll say, okay, who remembers what the red province is called? Ooh, that's Quebec. And I'll see if they remember even without the letter. We can talk about what letter do we have written there. So it just helps them connect the name to the place. And then we'll sing the song again, see if they can point even without the letters there. And that's geography this week. I'm going to use these maps for next week too, because we're talking about some lakes and waters in this area. Again, you can find these maps and you can just download them from my blog post. Also for geography, you might have heard me talk about this already. I made this Africa book for my kids, and it has a page for each country in Africa. There's a zoomed in country where the capital is, an animal that's really popular there. Here's one that my daughter has colored already, Morocco, Algeria. So each morning I just give her a few to color and we talk about them and learn a little bit about them. Just been a fun way to dive deeper into Africa. If you are interested in getting one of these for your kids, I will link below where you can find these. They're in my Etsy shop. Also, I just want to share real quick, even though you probably heard me say this, you can see my Africa map behind me. They're just felt countries that snap on and off. And my kids and I have had a lot of fun learning the different countries of Africa this year. And we made a song to help us learn all the countries. So I'll link that below if you want to listen and try to learn it. Also, if you want to make a map like this, we also made a United States one last year. I have instructions on how to do that and patterns for all of these countries in my Etsy shop. So I will link that below if you are curious. For math this week, I am bringing back my hula hoops. I talked about this last week. We talked about area of a circle last week, and we're going to talk about circumference of a circle this week. So I'm going to bring about 4 or 5 hula hoops. I have several here, and the place where we're meeting has some too. I'm going to bring enough for all the kids to kind of pair off, and 2 kids to be around each hula hoop. 2 or 3, I think, would work. And first, before we go to our hula hoops, I'm going to show the kids the circumference formula on my tutor board and talk about circumference is the distance around the circle. Last week we talked about area. That's the part inside the circle. This week, circumference is the distance around the edge of the circle. So I'm going to have the kids stand around each of the hula hoops, and we're going to first walk around the edge, and I'll talk about we're not going to go inside because we're not talking about area. We're talking about circumference. So we're just going to walk along the edge of the hula hoop as we sing our geometry song, which I'll sing in a second. And then after we sing it one time, then we'll tiptoe around the hula hoop. Then we'll hop on one foot around the hula hoop, then hop on the other foot around the hula hoop. And we are going to sing the whole geometry song this week because this is the end of it. So we're going to start at the beginning with area of a rectangle and go through to today, circumference. So this is how the geometry song goes. Geometry. Geometry, let's learn some geometry. The area of a rectangle equals length times width. The area of a square equals length of the side squared s squared. The area of a triangle equals 1/2 base times height. The area of a circle equals pi times the radius squared. The circumference of a circle equals 2 times pi times the radius. Geometry, geometry. Let's learn some geometry. Another fun thing you could do is when the kids hear circumference at the end of the song, they could all fall down to the ground just for fun when they hear that word. So also I would explain to them that pi is equal to 3.14, and that number keeps going, going, going. And that's something they could explore more at home with their family this week. So that is math this week. For history this week, we are going to do silly words again. The kids in my group just love this. They are really engaged while we do this, so I'm just going to keep doing it. But we are doing the Mexican Revolution this week. So what I do is I first either play or sing through the song normally and tell the kids to listen really carefully, because in a minute I'm going to throw some silly words in and they have to tell me if they hear a silly word. So the normal song goes like this. Circa 1910, the Mexican Revolution, Pancho Villa and Emiliano Zapata fought the Federales for land and liberty. Oh, land and liberty. So then I'll say, okay, now I'm going to throw some silly words in, and if you hear a silly word, raise your hand and tell me. Circa 1910, during the Pelican Revolution. Pelican? Not pelican, what should it be? Oh, Mexican, that's right, okay. Circa 1910, the Mexican Revolution. Nacho Villa, Nacho? No, what should it be? Oh, Poncho. So I'm going to go back to the beginning each time and do it normally until the next silly word. So the silly words I use are pelican instead of Mexican, nacho instead of poncho, piñata instead of zapata, tamales instead of federales, and jittery instead of liberty. So once we get through all those, and again, I go back to the beginning of the history sentence and do it correctly until the next silly word each time, so they're actually hearing it correctly a lot. And then once we've done that, I will have the kids stand up, and it's just such a dancey song. I will have them dance around as we listen a couple more times. For Latin this week, we are doing the third declension noun endings again. We did these last week, so the kids should be pretty familiar with them. We are going to play limbo this week, so I have this long piece of, I don't even know what it is, some kind of foam thing I'm going to bring in and have a parent hold each side up so the kids can do limbo under it. And what I'm going to do is I will have the kids sing the song with me one time before we start playing this, just to review it. And the song goes like this. Various east, E-M-A, various east, E-M-A, various east, E-M-A, singular third declension, ace, ibis, ace, ibis, ace, ibis, ace, ibis, ace, ibis, ace, ibis, plural third declension. So we'll sing that all just to review it. And then I will have two parents stand on chairs first, so they're pretty high up, and hold this. And then I'll have the kids go under one by one. Each time they go under the tube, they need to say the next noun ending. So the first kid will say various, and then the next kid will say east, e, and then we'll keep going. And I'll help them if they need help. But since they've heard it before, I want to challenge them to try to say it more on their own than just listening to it. So we'll go through, once we get through the singular and the plural, then I'll have the parents bring it down a little bit, and I'll have the kids try to go under it and say the noun ending again. So again, each kid's going to say one noun ending as they go under. So that is what we're going to do for Latin. And again, each time we go through the singular and the plural, I'll have the parents bring the tube down a little bit lower. For science this week, we are learning about atmosphere. So I'm going to have the kids stand on a spot marker. I'm going to spread these out because we're going to do some motions with our arms. So we need lots of room between each person. And I'm going to give one for each kid to stand on. We'll probably go out in the hallway so we have some more room in the place where we meet. First, before we go out into the hallway, I'll show them on my tutor board a drawing that I'll have that shows the different parts of the atmosphere in, concentric circles. So there's the Earth, and then the first part is the troposphere, and then it goes out from there. And I will teach them a little song that we're going to sing to the tune The Farmer in the Dell, and it goes like this. What are some parts of the atmosphere? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. These are some parts of the atmosphere. What are some parts of the atmosphere? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. These are some parts of the atmosphere. So I'll sing it for them, and then we'll go stand on our dots, and I'll tell them we're going to make our arms go out wider each time we say a different part of the atmosphere. So we're going to start close together for troposphere, and then we're going to go to stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and then exosphere. We're going to reach out as far as we can. So we'll stand on our dots and we'll go, what are some parts of the atmosphere? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. These are some parts of the atmosphere. And then we'll do it a few times. And that is science this week. For review this week, we're going to play Stinky Feet. You can download this game for free from my blog post, so I'll link in the description where you can find it. But basically, you can print this guy out, put it on the wall, and then I have these little feet printouts that have feet on the front, and I printed them out in a couple different colors, and then a positive or negative point value on the back. So this one has +5. They go in increments of 5. So I have +5, -5, +10, -10, up to 20. So I put these around the feet on the wall, and then I divide the kids into 2 teams. And the first team I ask a review question to, and if they can answer it, then one of the kids comes up from that team and picks a foot off the wall, and we see if it's a positive or negative number. If it's a negative number, like this one says -5, then they get 5 subtracted from their score, and I usually assign the parents to keep score. Then also you can spice it up and have them take their shoes off if they get a negative number. It's kind of fun, you don't have to do that. Then I ask the second team a question, and same thing, if they get it right, they get to come grab a foot from the wall and see if it's a positive or negative value. And we just keep playing until either all the feet are gone or it's just time to be done, and then we add up the score. And sometimes the team with the greatest score wins, and sometimes the team with the least score wins. I mix it up. So keep it exciting. Also, I like to think of review questions kind of on the fly instead of planning them ahead of time. It just works better for me. I have my foundations guide handy, and I just flip to one of the past weeks and ask a question. So I might ask, hey, who remembers what one of the tallest mountains is and what continent it's in? Or I might ask, what's one of the helping verbs that we've learned? Or I might ask something about one of the history topics we've learned about. And I usually keep it pretty general since the kids in my group are pretty young. But you can obviously just decide on some questions that are appropriate for the age group you have. Again, you can download this from my blog. I will link in the description below. As I promised, I want to show you the memory word games I made that you can do at home with your kids this week that go along with the week 20 memory works. The first thing is I made these linking verb cards. So these are very similar to my helping verb cards. They have all the linking verbs on them, and then a sentence using the linking verb and a little picture that relates to the sentence. You can play memory with these. That's what I suggest, printing 2 copies of each card and playing memory, or you can print 4 copies and play Go Fish, or you can just use them as reference too. So that's English. For Latin, I have my Latin endings bingo game. I've showed this before, but in case you haven't seen it, has all the noun endings for Latin on it. For math, I have my shapes board game and a little dice that you can print out and just fold. And so your kids can roll the die and then move to the next space that matches whatever shape they roll. And then they can try to say the area formula or the circumference formula. And then for geography, I have a Dominion of Canada and Canadian Waters dice game. So this includes all the locations for this week and next week. And I have a labeled map as well, and then I included a blank map just if you want to use it for reference. And then for history, I have a Mexican Revolution sequence game. So I have a little dice that you can print out and fold too, and your kids can roll the die and then pick a matching spot to put a dot marker on or some kind of marker, and then the first person to get 6 in a row wins, and if you can get 6 in a row that make the correct order of the history sentence, that's bonus. So that's history. And then for science, parts of the atmosphere, I made this color by number diagram that also shows what kind of things are in each part of the atmosphere. So you can download these all for free. I have the link where you can get those in the description of this video. So I hope you get to enjoy those with your family. Also, make sure to check out the book list, great picture books that go along with each week of Cycle 1 for the second semester, so weeks 13 through 24. And check out my Africa book if you are interested in that. I hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. If you are enjoying my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I am posting at least one video per week, sometimes more, relating to tutor ideas, other homeschooling things, and memory work songs that we make up to help us learn different things in the memory work, and also videos about healthy living sometimes. Also follow me on Instagram because I like to post what we do throughout the week, homeschooling wise, and also some healthy recipes we're making. And check out my blog where I have all these plans written out and other blog posts and lots of free resources you can get. Thanks again for watching and have a great day.